So the big question is this: how are ordinary agents just like us supposed to stand out in the overly crowded real estate space while living a great lifestyle without having to go broke or radically change what we're already doing? Probate is the answer, and this series will show you how. I'm Anthony Nitz, and welcome to The Probate Agent.
Hey guys, hi, Anthony Nitz here, The Probate Agent, theprobateagent.com. Hey, are you trying to stand out and be different? You have to. You have to if you want to have success in this real estate business that we're in, guys. Are you suffering from the Me Too syndrome? Probably. It's probably easy to say, probably, because most agents fit into the Me Too syndrome. Here's a quick test. When someone says, I have an XYZ problem, or I need an ABC specialist, are you the first name that comes to mind, or do you just fit into the mold of all the other thousands and thousands of real estate agents? Have you positioned yourself as the go-to expert in your niche? Whatever the niche is. You know, me, my favorite is probate. It has been, it always will be probate for a lot of really good reasons if you've ever listened to any of my other podcasts. Does your ideal client aspire one day to work with you? Do your people say, hey, you know what? When it comes time for me to sell, I'm definitely calling you. When it comes time to buy, I'm definitely calling you. Okay? Do you have the same type of clients repeatedly banging on your door, begging you to take them on? And do you have anything tangible that sets you apart? If you answered no to any of the above, then guess what? You have got the Me Too syndrome, and you've got it bad. Okay? What is the Me Too syndrome? It's when you're just another provider, another agent like everybody else. You know, you guys have heard it if you've been to any trainings anywhere. Everybody always says you got to stand out, you got to specialize, you got to have a niche. And if you don't, then you just look like everybody else. You put 1,000 real estate agents in a room and it's an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick one, right? But you don't want that. You want to be different. You want to stand out. Symptoms of having the Me Too syndrome include prospects comparing you on price instead of the value you can bring them. How many people have said, hey, on the listing, well, will you give me a lower commission rate? And even though you might say to yourself, no, I'm not doing that. I earn my money, right? Well, then when they're going, well, you're no different than anybody else, we'll pick somebody else down the road who will save us 1 or 2% off of our listing fee, then you have a Me Too syndrome because you're basing it on price. How many times have you had a buyer say to you, well, how much are you going to give me back of that commission? What? I'm the one doing the work, okay? But still, if that happens, it's because you have the Me Too syndrome. Feeling the need to take on all comers just because your lead flow is inconsistent. If you have like anybody that comes along and you guys know you've taken on that client, that buyer, that seller, that is just, you're going, oh my God, this is going to be a nightmare. And it turns out to be a worse nightmare than you thought it was going to be, but you needed the deal. So you took them on. Well, that's because you're just part of Me Too syndrome, right? Feeling burned out because you can't focus on and master one thing, right? I've talked to people in the past before, when you say, well, what do you specialize in? They're a first-time buyer's agent. They're a listing specialist. They're a luxury home specialist. They're a horse property specialist. They have 10 different specialties. And when you look at their stats, you can see they're not a specialist in anything, really. Okay. Now, Me Too syndrome, it can be cured quite quickly too. How? By developing a unique selling proposition. A unique selling proposition, or a USP, is the thing that sets you apart from the crowd, guys. It's the thing that identifies you as an expert, as a specialist, and not just another provider. I've talked about this so many other times when we're talking about being a specialist in something. When you go to see the doctor, right? You can pretty much see any doctor. They'll take your temperature, they'll check your pulse, and they'll go, okay, here, take some antibiotics or whatever, right? And it kind of almost doesn't matter which one you go to. Okay, you can, and like sometimes I've known people, they go to the cheapest, urgent care or clinic or whatever it is that they can go to so they can save money because they know anybody in that space can be a doctor. But when it comes to brain surgery, when it comes to heart bypass or transplants, who do you go to? You go to the specialist. And guess what? You have never negotiated with a specialist or never known anybody who has negotiated with a brain surgeon. Can you do it for a little bit less? I got a coupon. Can you give me a break? No, because you want the specialist. You always want the specialist. Okay? And so you want to identify as an expert, as a specialist, and not just another provider. Here's an example. Federal Express. I remember when Federal Express came on the scene. They were just another delivery service, right? But they quickly came up with this message, the USP, when it absolutely has to be there overnight. And I remember as a kid saying that, hey, when it absolutely has to be there overnight, whatever. They cemented themselves as the most reliable courier service when you're on a tight timeline. Okay? Domino's Pizza created an empire off of fresh, hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or it's free. And nobody else did this before Domino's. And it's why they went from a single shop to over 15,000 locations worldwide. And the company is now worth $10.5 billion. Okay? Do most other pizza places deliver in 30 minutes or less? Yeah, usually, give or take. But all they did was say it, and it made them stand out and be a specialist. Avis Rent-A-Car, they knew they'd never be as big as Hertz. Hence the campaign, we're second best, so we try harder. Avis's growth exploded when they positioned themselves so uniquely. So how do you create your USP? Well, pick a niche, right? You guys know my favorite niche is probate. It always will be. It always has been. It will be until I die or quit this business, okay? Figure out which segment of your market is being underserved. Make sure that that there's enough prospects for scalable growth and become the go-to expert in that niche, okay? Here's some examples, and these aren't in the real estate space, but I want to kind of take a look at these and dissect these a little bit to see how they're making themselves stand out. So fitness coach. If you go out there and just promote yourself, hey, I'm a fitness coach. I'm a fitness coach, right? Be the fitness coach for a specific segment of the market. In this example, for digital marketers, people who market online. I am the fitness coach because I know you're sitting behind that desk 18 hours out of the day on your computer. You're not getting up. You're not being healthy. You're eating the wrong foods and all this stuff. But I'm your fitness coach because I understand you, right? And now all those all those people, those digital marketers start going to that fitness coach because the word spreads. And then let me ask you, do you think because they specialize in digital marketers that they don't ever get any other customers? No, not at all. They still get lots of other customers because they start saying, oh my gosh, all these people over here are going to you because you're good at what you want. I want that too. However, if you were just a fitness coach, I can tell anybody how to do push-ups. I can tell anybody how to, pump some weights. Right? But when you have a specific niche, the dynamic is totally different, right? Here's another one. Instead of being a funnel builder, if you don't know what funnel building is, it's basically just building a sales process. You put people into a funnel and running through a process to get them to come out the other end, with their checkbook, or in our case, with a listing agreement or with a purchase agreement, right? And ultimately a commission check. But in this case, instead of being a funnel builder, be the funnel builder for CBD products. Because I know lots of funnel builders. I see people, because just a lot of online stuff I do, I see these guys, hey, we'll build your funnels. And then guess what they start doing? They say, we'll build it for $500. And somebody else comes and says, well, we'll build it for $450. And somebody says, well, we'll build it. But then the person who comes along and says, hey, we specialize in CBD products, and that's all we do, and we're really darn good at it. Guess what they charge? $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to build a funnel. And they get paid for it, okay? And it's the same thing in our business, guys. Same thing in real estate. You have to have that specialty, okay? Guys, this is just one of the many ways to find and define your USP. In my next podcast, I will give you more ways to nail it down. But in the meantime, you've got a lot to work with here. Okay, start thinking about it. Here's a test. Here's a test that I always give people. I tell them, I said, do the so what test. If somebody says to you, well, what makes you different? And if you say something that somebody can respond with, well, so what? So does everybody else. Then you don't have a good niche. You don't have a niche, okay? And I'll give you an example. So like I used to do this all the time when I'm coaching and training my agents. I say, what makes you stand out? And they go, well, we care about our clients. Well, so what? So does everybody else. And how dare you imply that nobody else cares for their clients? Everybody cares for their clients. Okay? Well, we are available 24/7. Well, so what? Everybody can be available 24/7. That's nothing special. Being available. I hope you're available. If you're a real estate agent, you should be available. Okay. We go the extra mile. So what? Everybody goes the extra mile. What does that mean? Okay. If you can say so what, then that is not the right message for you. Okay. So like I said, we got plenty to work with here. Start figuring out how to cure your Me Too syndrome. What are you going to be doing different that stands out? Okay, if you want to get out of the real estate Me Too syndrome, I'm going to tell you, for me, I was in a few different niches, and I was the guy that had several different things going on at the same time. Okay, when I started focusing on probate, that's when it all changed. It turned into a totally different thing for me. So, if you want to attend my next upcoming masterclass, just visit theprobateagent.com/MC for masterclass. Theprobateagent.com/MC. And it's free. There's no cost to attend the masterclass. Just come, join, be part of it, kind of learn some stuff, kind of be thinking about, okay, what's my next steps? What do I do to really stand out in this marketplace and build authority, build a different level of perception among your peers and among your sphere of influence. So, all right, guys, we will catch you on the next podcast. Take care.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe right here where you're listening to us right now, and any of your other social media platforms. And leave feedback for me. It's really important to me, and it helps us out. Do you have a question that you want answered live on the show? Go to theprobateagent.com to submit your question, or even to get an opportunity to be interviewed. For my agent friends, you'll also find additional content and some freebies there that you can download right now. Until next time, let's put the pro back into probate.